This is a little bit hard to believe that some marquee guys have not signed anywhere. And we're talking about a situation where spring training camps, Cactus League Grapefruit Circuit kind of roll out starting February 8th. And after that, free agent hot list, Blake Snell unsigned. This is hard to believe. I'm just wondering if there's kind of an outright revolt against player agent Scott Boras. The rumor mill in Major League Baseball from their insiders is they're asking for 7 years, $210 million. That's $30 million per season, but you have to dig deeper than the fact he's won 2 Cy Young awards. He's got an inflated ERA. He's a 5-inning pitcher. Are you going to play a 5-inning pitcher who walks a lot of batters? $30 million a year for the next 7 years? Price tag, I have to think, has to start coming down, and I just wonder where Snell's going to go. Jordan Montgomery, still out there, reinvented himself as a pitcher. He does have the World Series ring with the Texas Rangers, but, he bounced around a whole bunch of other places, St. Louis included, not signed yet. Price is supposedly 6 years, $150 million. That's pretty steep for Texas, which has spent volumes of money to build a World Series team. Might his price tag come down? I don't see that other people have interest in him at that price. This Cody Bellinger thing, it's a real stretch now. And again, who's he represented by?
Scott Boras.
I was told today out of Chicago that they want to re-sign him, but they're not going to pay Boras dollars to do it. Now, that's stupid because the Cubs have money, and the Cubs have not really done a hell of a lot. And you take a 306 hitter who hit 26 bombs, plays like Gold Glove in the outfield, had a tremendous bounce-back season. You take him out of the Cubs lineup, and the Cubs are not a pennant contender.
No, not even.
I don't care that they signed Shoto Iganama from Japan just last week. He's not a difference maker, back of the rotation guy. But Bellinger is asking, I was told 7 years, over $225,000 or $25 million.
Wow.
For Bellinger. Now, granted, are we talking Cody Bellinger to hit 306 with 26 bombs at Wrigleyville? Or we're talking Cody Bellinger who hit, 196 and 205 back-to-back disappointing seasons where the Dodgers said, see ya. So he's still out there. Maybe his price will come down. But I hear the Giants. I don't see the Giants paying that amount of money. To me, are you a good player? He sure does seem that. Are you a good player in a stadium in which you can really hit? Yeah, Wrigleyville, that sure seems like the right place for him. But the Cubs are not going to do that at their price. We had talked in November and December about veteran pitchers on the trade block. Well, they're still there. And now, because they were arbitration eligible, they all signed 1-year contract extensions. A couple of these guys are going to be free agents. Shane Bieber. Now, he's had arm problems. Cleveland. Who wants to take on his contract? He just signed a $12 million 1-year extension in Cleveland. Dylan Cease, White Sox. His price is now over $12 million. He signed the 1-year contract extension. So not only are you taking on that price tag, you have to trade prospects to get Cease. And the whole Corbin Burns thing in Milwaukee has just gone silent. He signed his arbitration contract. His price tag is now $13 million. And of course, if Milwaukee trades him, it's like they've gutted the entire roster, and their manager, Craig Counsell, is also gone too. So that's where we are in terms of who's out there right now. And those 3 veteran pitchers at the bottom of our board, John, are still available, but we're now with high price tags, and you got to trade talent to get that talent. Who's going to be willing to do all that? Go ahead.
So don't pitchers and catchers report like in a few weeks?
Well, February 8th is the start of the Dodgers. The Padres are the 11th, and they're the first 2 that come because they're going to play in Seoul, South Korea in March.
So we got to get our ass in gear and sign these guys. But Snell and Bellinger is kind of the same dynamic, right? You don't know which one you're going to get. Is it the MVP Cy Young, or is it the struggling guy that has an ERA in the 5s or hits 200? It's so hard to tell.
The only thing you know about dealing with them is the area code to the Asian is 323 because it's the same guy.
The same guy, yeah. Well, I always wonder if they're ever going to price themselves out of the market. But you know what? Again, I always go back to the Angels. They are so starved for talent. They've got all this money cleared because Ohtani's gone. Why not Snell? Why not Montgomery? Why not Bellinger? Why not all 3?
Well, I don't think all 3 just because of whose price tag on those guys. But you have cleared that money with Ohtani. Last I've checked, I think they have signed 8 street free agents to 1-year deals. And they just signed a relief pitcher over the weekend, but I don't think he's a big-time Rolaids award-winning type closer. They still have a desperate need. Maybe you go to Scott Boras and you say, I'll give Snell 5 years, 150. That's 30 mil per season. That's legitimacy without years 6 and 7 to the contract.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a week from now, as teams start to go to spring training, Snell's price tag will come down. The Bellinger thing, again, it's the agent. Are you going to pay Bellinger 30 mil? Does he hit in Anaheim at that stadium as he did at Wrigley Field? Burning question there. And if that's not enough to complicate everything, we still have Trevor Bauer and maybe Julio Urias of the Dodgers, both out there. One's been reinstated to baseball. The other is probably going to get reinstated. Maybe the Angels are holding their breath until they officially get reinstated, and then they make the decision, we'll take a gamble on a 1-year contract with either of them. Angels, the Angels, I just found out their TV contract's been picked up for 1 additional year by Bally Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Angels get $123 million in TV right now.
That's like double what the Padres got.
Oh, yeah. Because they're kind of pseudo in the second market in the country, plus Orange County, which is a big market unto itself.
Right.
I don't want to sit here and hear from Artie Moreno or Perry Manazian, his general manager, that this is all money we have. That's not true.
No, it's not at all.
Tani's money is free and gone. You got money to spend. Reinvest it. If they're going to open the season with 8 guys that they signed in the offseason, 1-year free agent contracts who have marginal career, and that's what you're putting on the field, and you're hoping Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon stay healthy? What kind of operation is that in the second bleeping market of in the country?
Yeah.
You're not talking about being in Pittsburgh.
It's a disgrace. But remember a few years back, Michael Conforto didn't sign, and he was like, he didn't play for like a year, even though
he'd been injured shoulder.
But he was recovering from the injury, and under most circumstances, those kinds of free agents, they will sign them. Now, do you think any of these guys would not be signed before opening day? Could that happen?
Anything is possible. But I'll tell you what, if you're getting opening day, that means everybody spent all the money in the checking account, because nobody's walking around with $30 million to give Blake Snell. And he can pitch. The thing is, you're going to give any pitcher a 7-year contract. You're going to give, and I'm not trying to bash him because I like him. He's offbeat. He obviously is a hell of a competitor. But yeah, I'm trying to bash him. You're going to give Blake Snell a 7-year contract to pitch 5 innings every time you give him the ball, and you're going to guarantee him $30 million per year with a hope he can be more than a 5-inning pitcher or doesn't have a physical setback because he has a force 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, they gave Yamamoto 10 years. He's never pitched in MLB at all.
But dude is 25 with no history of arm problems.
Okay.
And dude does have wicked stuff. But you're correct. He's never thrown a ball in anger at Dodger Stadium.
That's coming.
Okay, that's where we are with Major League Baseball. We got an